Hello, my name is Corey Wrenn. I'm a professor of sociology and social psychology, and I also run the Vegan Feminist Network. And what we thought we would do is start a mini video lecture series, so we can put this into video form, and maybe that's more conducive to sharing, and some people are not into reading big long blog posts. So Cheryl and I are going to be recording some videos for you on some general topics regarding what we write about. So I thought the good one to start with would be to talk about what vegan feminism is. Feminism is a really large field of study, and it kind of crosses a bunch of different disciplines, and so it has a lot of different understandings about or different approaches. As a sociologist, I look at it from a conflict perspective, and so I look at how women tend to be marginalized, and we don't have the same opportunities and equalities that men enjoy. And so when we're looking at feminism as a movement, it also has very rich history. We, the Vegan Feminist Network, tend to stick with the radical approach to feminism, and that's really inspired by some work that happened in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, kind of known as the second wave feminism. And what's important to know about this distinction between second wave feminism and then feminism today, or what is also known as third wave feminism, is that second wave feminism really challenged a lot of the inequalities, and really, for the first time, was asking for more than a vote. We wanted more opportunities. We wanted the same equalities and same opportunities that men had. But one of the problems that the second wave had was it was very white-centric and it was very heteronormative. And so when we see feminism today, it's really challenging that white centrism and saying, hey, this is not just about privileged white women, privileged straight white women. Now we need to look at transgender people, intersex people, lesbians, non-gender normative folks, and other marginalized groups, especially people of color, women of color. And so when we're looking at feminism from that perspective, it really starts to make no sense. If we're challenging domination of those who are vulnerable, if we're challenging the domination of marginalized communities, it really doesn't make sense to say, well, women, people of color, transgender people, and other marginalized groups matter, but non-human animals don't matter, because it's the same system of domination. So what we recognize is when we take an intersectional approach, we start to recognize that all forms of oppression are rooted in the same source, and that may be patriarchy, it may be neoliberal capitalism, it may be white supremacy, and it may be all of those kind of combined. As a sociologist, I tend to focus more on the economic perspective and look more at how capitalist conflict has created a lot of this. But of course, we can't completely ignore the influence of white supremacy and patriarchy. But these same systems of oppression, they impact women, they impact people of color, they impact homosexual people, etc. They also impact non-human animals. And so what vegan feminism asks us to do is to recognize how non-human animals too are oppressed in the same systems, in many of the same ways. So a lot of the different isms, like racism, sexism, disableism, ageism, heterosexism, etc., those are all rooted in the same sources of oppression. They operate very similarly. So what vegan feminism is asking us to do is to make this personal change, make it political, and say, hey, we can't participate in this domination ourselves. We can't participate in this oppression ourselves. If we're fighting against oppression, it really makes no sense to eat the flesh of other animals or to participate in their exploitation in other ways, like using it for entertainment or animal testing, things like that. So that, in a nutshell, is what vegan feminism is. And if you'd like some further reading, I recommend checking out Carol Adams, of course. There's also Marty Keel, who is a really foundational eco-feminist who started a lot of this theory back in the 70s. You might also want to check out the work of Emily Garter. She published in 2011 a book called Women in the Animal Rights Movement, if you want more nuanced understanding of what it's like to be a vegan feminist activist. So I also encourage you to check out our website, veganfeministnetwork.com, see some of our essays, and we have lots of resources up there. Thanks.